Hey, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Learn to Produce. In this episode, I'm going to show you guys how to create a trap beat using some of the samples that some of the sounds that I've assembled, and I'm providing you the link below in the description. So try to follow along. And the main intent of this is just to show you guys that you can manipulate sounds. You don't necessarily need what the next person has. I do see a lot of people saying, which VSTI is that? Especially for, some of the more popular beats, but you may not achieve what that person was able to achieve because you don't know what they actually did with that sound. And in many cases, it's not just the factory sound that you're going to, hop on the MIDI controller and just start playing, and that's going to be there. A lot of times people do distortion, they reverse the sound, add an ARP, they may layer sounds, they may add a wide reverb, just a lot of different tweaks, again, that you may not necessarily acquire. And these days it's just way too many sounds out there, so just try to follow along. By now your sound should have been installed on your desktop, so we're going to pull everything from that folder. So what you want to do is right click, load sample. I stated in the previous video, I start off with the hi-hat as a metronome. So what I'm going to do, sorry, I didn't mean to do the open hi-hat. What I'm going to do is the closed hi-hat. So I'm just going to change the tempo. My previous tempo was at 130, so make sure you change the tempo to maybe like 140. And I'm going to right click, fill each 4 steps. Now I'm going to make sure this is 1, left click twice, parametric EQ, and I'm going to put that there and drop these about here to -12. This is at a +6. You can always save presets by coming here, save preset as, and just do maybe trap hi-hat. It's not actually going to save the hi-hat. It's going to just save the settings in this EQ, which, helps for the purpose of a faster workflow. So you can just always preset trap hi-hat. So anyway, I'm going to click on view playlist, this option here. And I'm just going to take my paintbrush and paint this all the way to the 9. So I'm just going to listen to it. And please excuse the lag. There may be a minor lag. I had to adjust my latency settings a bit, so this tutorial will move a bit smoother. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to clone this. And I'm cloning that because that way I can just pull from that same folder. So I'm just going to clone that, load the sample, and the next thing I want to do is maybe this ARP. Let's see what this sounds like. Again, these are sounds that I put together. It's pretty quick. So I'm going to right click, piano roll. And I'm just going to, let me see. You know what, actually what you want to do is come to sample, deselect this or uncheck this, use loop points because you don't want it to loop, and the time you just gonna, well, I guess that's already down as far as possible. So I'm gonna go ahead and right click back to piano roll. I don't know why this is so low. Okay, normalize that to increase the volume. It's pretty low. So I'm just gonna input a few notes here. Let's see. Hold shift and left click to copy that. And I'm just going to change these last two notes a bit, just so it doesn't sound so redundant. All right, the next thing I'm going to do is change this to 2, to match pattern 2. Left click, and I'm just going to put a fruity. I always get this twisted. Fruity free filter. I think Image Line did that intentionally, but anyway. So if you, here's the difference. So I wanted to sound like it's in a hole somewhat. And I'm just gonna paste that again. You know what? Let's do this. And I'm gonna show you why. Right click on your hi-hat, send to piano roll. Now Control A. Just make sure this is about right there, about that size. Now you're going to hold shift and just drag. That's always to again to copy this. So right click, hold control and press A to select all, and do it one more time. That's shift and just drag. Delete all of these by right clicking. You know, you can hold right click and just drag. Now paint the new pattern back in. So just left click and paint the new pattern. So you're going to come to this this select tool here. Just select, and what I'm going to do is control. Sorry, I keep getting these shortcuts wrong. And what I'm going to do is Alt and A. You know what? Let's do Alt and let's do Alt A, and the time is going to be, so I'm gonna, if I were to start from the very bottom, move up one notch, move up one more notch. I'm not, again, I don't know if you can see it on my computer, but let's do that. You see what I did? So now I'm going to select this one and do Alt U. In fact, that's, I like that one better. So I'm going to put that maybe there. Alt U. Now I'm going to do Alt U, and let's do this here. And then I'm going to change the last one back to that. All right, so the important thing about this is you're going to start feeling the melody build up. And I think the at least the more I feel it build up, I don't know, I guess the more excited I get about it, which sort of brings out the creativity. You're going to sort of foresee what should be put in the beat. So I'm going to clone this, and the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add my snare. I'm going to go with that one there. I'm going to put this on pattern 3. And what I'm going to do is change this to 8. Just to give it some variation. Just go ahead and paste this. Remember, your space bar is to play and stop. So that actually helps. And I think I had this on number 2. Make sure this is blank. And make sure, because I copied the previous pattern, just make sure you put it back to nothing. That's off. All right, so I'm going to do oh, sorry, that was already pasted. So the next thing I'm going to do is go to pattern 4. I'm going to copy that, clone that, and load sample. And the next thing I'm going to do is the 808. Yeah, let's do the 808. Yeah, I think 808 is fine. I was gonna, sometimes you can put a kick under the 808 and it makes it sound a bit better, but I'll just go ahead and stick with this. I'm going to show you guys a technique that is highly used in trap beats, and you know, not a lot of people know how to do this. So you're going to come to Porter and you're going to just move this as far as possible, and this is going to be the slide effect. I'm going to do maybe A4. Paste this, in fact. I'm just going to do just paste 1 in there. And I'm just going to overlap it a bit. So I'm just going to overlap it a bit, and that's where you're going to get the slide. In fact, don't start here. Start here so it has a drop effect. All right, I'm just gonna paste that once more, and forget about the slide situation for right now. That's not what I'm gonna focus on. Now I'm gonna copy this, and I'm just gonna go ahead and put that other kick right behind it, so it can sort of have some punch to it. Let me see how it sounds just to make sure. So I'm gonna click here, just click here, Control C to copy, paste. And just turn this mod X down. It's under instrument. I'm going to clone that one more time. And the next instrument I'm going to select is the piano. I'm going to go to something like G2, maybe A2. Let's try A2. Okay, I'm just going to paste this every so often. So you pretty much get the idea. Again, as usual, this is just a quick tutorial. This is not for the beat to sound great. It's just to give you the basics.